Welcome back, everybody, to day one, part two of our Johannesburg weekend workshop. And, we've been talking about peace consciousness, power consciousness, prosperity consciousness, paradise consciousness. We've been talking about becoming more aware. And as an aware human being, you can step into your potency, just the power of being aware and experiencing, expressing, applying yourself, enjoying yourself, choosing enjoyment, satisfaction, just your being. How potency has got to do with your being. It doesn't have anything to do with your thinking. It doesn't have anything to do with your doing. You can think, you can do. But potency is a natural state. That's what we've been talking about. And so we've also been talking about authenticity, prosperity especially, and I was emphasizing the fact that the things of this world are important, but we don't exaggerate their importance. And when we realize that what we have with God and what we already have that we didn't know we could want, that we have been given, we understand how supportive God is, and we can experience that peace. And we can then choose. We can choose what we enjoy. We can choose to enjoy ourselves. We can choose to joyfully express ourselves, to freely be ourselves, allowing of ourselves, allowing the expression of ourselves, allowing ourselves to pursue our own benefit. We can be effective in life. We can live effectively. We can choose to live effectively. And that's what power consciousness is all about. It's about learning to live effectively, that we can play a positive role in our life. We can participate constructively in our lives. We can support ourselves from that natural good feeling of faith. We can support ourselves to have feeling good naturally, and natural good feelings. That it feels good to understand, it feels good to feed the mind, it feels good to feed the body, it's good for the mind to work well, for the body to work well, for the spirit to work well. It feels good, as an adult. And we can be these people who are of value to us. And we can be caring to ourselves. We can choose to be of value to ourselves. We can choose to value ourselves. We can choose to be caring to ourselves. And from that caring for ourselves, we can be authentic. We can be in the world and decide what it is that we want to be and become and live and experience in the world, and what we want to contribute. So that's what we were talking about when we took our break. I was asked for support around, people, having the experience of prosperity and the case of a business. We've been sharing about a business, So a business is not just about getting money. Getting money is about adding value. When you add value in the world, then you have people who value the value that you are, that they are value to you, and there's mutual value. So we're talking about prosperity, not just about getting somebody or something, but having people and things that are of value. So a business can be of value to us in that we can be ourselves in it and express ourselves and apply ourselves and support our enjoyment of life, make a contribution. We can do what we're happy to do. We can do what we are happy to do. In through a business. We can be what we're happy to be through a business, to make the contribution that is us. We can, whatever our passion are, whatever our passions are, whatever our joy and enjoyment is, we can monetize that. We can see how we can express ourselves and enjoy ourselves and serve others in their joy and enjoyment, how we can produce, how we can provide, how we can give to others in a way that we're happy to be ourselves, giving to others, providing for others. Being ourselves and who we are, others can value us. So if you love cooking, if you love catering, if you love feeding, food and related matters, people can enjoy being around you because of your talent, your creativity, you can actually give them lovely food to eat. I'm just saying, and they can value that. They can say, wow, being around her, we're always fed. Being around her, is always delicious food. We value her. And you can be you doing your thing in the world, whatever your thing is. And people can be around you saying, wow, we value being with him, we value being with her, because they're so good at this. And with them, we benefited in some way. So prosperity consciousness is where you have the opportunity to be in relationship with others. That might be a business relationship. It might be a friendship. It might be a spousal love relationship, where we are of benefit to somebody by us being who we are and doing our thing. I can just be me, and somebody might value being with me, whether professionally or personally, platonically, as a friend, whatever it is. But it's like me being me. There has to be an element of you being you. So oftentimes people want prosperity, they want money, so they think, okay, how will I get money? I'll start a business. And so I'll get money by earning money. And that's not really prosperity, because they're doing something that they might not enjoy doing. They're being something that they might not enjoy being. If you're in the hospitality business, then you like being hospitable. And if a business involves hospitality, you'll do well. If you know how to connect with people, care for people, check up on them, are they comfortable, to make sure that they're okay. If you're in the hospitality business and you are a hospitable kind of person, then guess what? You're going to do well. But if you get involved in a business that is hospitality and you don't like attending to others, making sure other people are comfortable and all that, you'll regret it. No matter how good the business is, whatever you do, it's not in keeping with who you are. So when we're talking about prosperity, we're talking about relationships, we're talking about businesses, we're talking about, personal businesses, interactions with people, where we are who we are. So sometimes people might think, I need money, what will I do? Let me take an opportunity. Let me buy a popcorn machine, put it in the fair. I can put a popcorn machine in the fair. If I put a popcorn machine in the fair, it can make me money. So sometimes if somebody is an entrepreneur, and that's what they do, they like looking for opportunities, to make money, and they don't mind whatever it is. So they can say, whatever the market demands, I'll give it. The market wants popcorn, let's give them popcorn. I'll get a popcorn machine, I'll get somebody to manage the popcorn machine, and somebody can be there, and as long as I earn money. So an entrepreneur is like, I don't care how, what the market wants, I'll give it what it wants, and I'll get somebody who can do the work. And so sometimes people might have that kind of entrepreneurial spirit where whatever it takes, they'll do, and they're happy to do it. But generally, when we speak of prosperity, we're talking about our uniqueness, our authenticity. So somebody might find a money-making opportunity and take it, but they might realize it costs them. It costs them who they are. It costs them who they are. So I want to speak a little bit about this kind of mentality that exists generally, whether it's in love life or whether it's in money life or work life. People sort of get an idea that somebody is going to make them happy, or somebody is going to make them money, something is going to make them money. They're going to get happy, they're going to get money, they're going to get rich with something, they're going to get something from something. Now that is like a dependency kind of relationship. What we're talking about here is where a person is joyfully expressing themselves, they're enjoying making the contribution that they want to make, and they are choosing the satisfaction that they want to serve and be served in. So when it comes to healthy prosperity, and there's only one kind of prosperity, which is healthy prosperity, there's an inner expression, there's an inner satisfaction, there's a pleasure that one experiences from oneself in doing that. So sometimes when you undertake these kind of projects, they require you to give a lot. They require you to maybe take away from other areas of your life as you focus on something that you are building. and to take away attention from other areas. But if you're doing it from, this is what I love, this is what I'm inspired by, this is what I see, every moment of this is enjoyable. If it's coming from your expression of yourself, and it's coming from a support of your satisfaction, your dream, your aspiration, if it's coming from an inner, if it's coming from an inner being pleased and satisfied, if it's a self-expression, self-valuing, it's a opportunity that you take for you to experience your values in, and it's coming from within, then there's no problem. There's a problem when it's excitement-based. Excitement is usually from outside. One day when I get the money, I'll be happy. One day when I get the job. One day when I do this. So a lot of people have excitement, based focusing, which leads to trouble, either in relationships or in money matters, business. So somebody might think, there's a lot of money in whatever kind of business. If I start that business, I'll make a lot of money. It's excitement. It's looking to the outer world to feel something that you're not feeling within you. And the same thing can happen in love relationships, where people can think about a person, or somebody might think about a business idea, and they might think that this is good. Not to be confused with where somebody reflects and realizes this is good. But somebody might be trying to think their way into happiness. And they might be thinking that with this job opportunity, I'm going to make money. With this person, I'm going to be happy. It's excitement-based. And it can actually become something that you can get obsessed with. Right? Now, when I'm talking about undertaking a project that is expressing of you, that is something that you like and what you want, people can get healthy obsessed with a project, and that's good if you get healthy obsessed. Healthy obsessed means you're focusing on it a lot, especially if you're starting business. Now, if you know anybody who's into business and businessmen and all that, they eat, sleep, toilets, business, everything is business. Where I'm buying, supplying from, getting a cheaper price, selling it, this needs fixing, that needs fixing. So, even in my business that I'm working, like during the break I was thinking, okay, so, what did we cover now? What we're going to cover? Let me see how I can support people in who might be unhealthy in thinking that they're pursuing prosperity in love or in money, but they might not really be pursuing. So, during the break I'm like thinking, about this. At night I'm thinking about my work. Early in the week I'll be thinking about the weekend, and I do so many different. So if you are thinking that somebody is going to make you happy, or some business is going to make you money, and that is coming from excitement, you want to be aware that this is not realistic this is not really passion that comes from within, inside out. So somebody says, I need money, I need love. I'm looking for a way to find money or get more money. I'm looking for a way to feel loved, and I'm looking for an external solution. If somebody has that kind of mentality, it's because they don't feel the havingness of God, the havingness of the love of God. They don't feel what they already have, that their eyesight, their hearing, their cognitive abilities, the earth, what's in the world, etc., what they've been given, they're not receiving, they're not coming from I am secure. You get what I mean? So somebody might be like, if I have money, I'll feel better. If I have somebody's love, I'll feel better. They're not coming from I am secure. That everything I need I already have, everything I desire is already in the world. And I am interested in feeling secure. I'm interested in expressing myself, freely expressing. I want to enjoy being myself, enjoy the joy of being oneself, the joy of expressing oneself. Somebody might not allow themselves that being in a state of joy and expressing, being joyful, people might not allow them, so they don't have that self-acceptance, that self-valuing, that self-love. And so they don't feel that value of God, the value that they have, that, I can care for me. No amount of money in the world substitutes God's caring for me and my being caring to me. God taking care of us, no amount of money, no amount of person is a substitute for God's taking care of us. And no amount of person or money or job is going to be a substitute for our being caring to ourselves, our bodies, our lives. The value that we are to ourselves, in that way that God is to us and we are to ourselves, nothing and nobody is going to be that value. So what happens is, when people are not experiencing security and they're not experiencing selffulness, they're not feeling good enough and okay within themselves unconditionally, and they don't have a relationship with themselves of valuing themselves, appreciating themselves, learning, growing, developing, so that they say, look, I'm doing well and I'm benefiting myself, and I require God, whom we already have, and He has given me the ability to function as an adult. When people don't do that, women and men do it in different ways. Usually men will do it in money and business. I need to make more money, and so let's just try something and see where it goes and all that. And when I have the money, then I'll feel secure and I'll feel good about myself. Now, women do the same thing in relationships usually. Not to say men don't do it in relationships too, but women usually do it. Women feel like, when I have a man who loves me, I'll feel secure. He'll take care of me. It'd be so nice to be taken care of by somebody. They don't know that the caring of God and God taking care of you there's no substitute. And they'll be like, when somebody, likes me and respects me, I'll feel good about myself. They don't know. When you look at yourself and you admire yourself for your growth and your learning and how far you've come, and you have respect for yourself, they don't know that self-respect, nobody can give you self-respect. Nobody's respect can produce self-respect. You know what I mean? No amount of money is going to make you secure. No amount of love is going to make you secure. But somebody might think, I'll get that business, I'll get the money-making opportunity, I'll get this person, when they love me, I'll be secure and I'll be self-respecting, So what happens with women oftentimes is obsession, fantasy. They will focus on somebody, like men will focus on the fantasy of, one day when I'm rich, everything is going to work out. Or one day when I'm rich, I'm going to feel okay. And I just need more money and I'll be okay. So sometimes men focus like that. Not to say women don't focus like that too. And that's when they get into trouble. They get into doing something for the money that's not really from security, that's not really from the joy of expressing themselves, and they're not going to put into that healthy obsession. Like building that business, a healthy obsession, or building that relationship is a healthy obsession in a relationship. But what happens is an unhealthy obsession. Thinking about the money, one day when I have the money, one day when I have a business, one day that business, one day when I'll look for ways, I'll try this, I'll try that, one day I'll be rich, one day when I'm rich I'll be okay, when I have money I'll be okay. In the meantime, they don't know they're already okay. One day when I'm rich I'll respect myself, one day when I have a man who loves me I'll respect myself. I can't respect myself, I can't have a relationship with myself. So women oftentimes, they fantasize and they obsess with somebody. And sometimes they can even stalk people. Can happen. When I say woman, I mean grown-up girls who haven't really established a relationship with God and haven't established a relationship with themselves. They're looking for the father figure to love them. You know what I mean? They're looking for somebody else to care for them, take care of them. They want to be taken care of. They don't know God is already taking care of them, and they are adults. They can function in the world to benefit themselves and respect themselves. So women can fantasize, women can obsess, women can stalk men, women can have very unrealistic, fantasy experiences. Sometimes somebody they don't know, sometimes somebody on television or somebody in the public, You have heard of situations like that, where celebrities and all that have been stalked and stabbed and all sorts of things happen to them. So somebody might develop like a fantasy with somebody who they know plainly doesn't know them. They don't even know they exist, but they think, this person here is going to love me one day. It happens when women are insecure. I mean, I've been in a situation where people told me things like that, one day they'll be with me and all that sort of thing. And I don't even know them. And I don't even, but people can project the obsessiveness and the insecurities that if they see somebody and they see things about that person could be status, have some kind of status, in the world. That person can be some kind of, have money, fame, fortune, status, as I said. That person can be handsome. That person can be desired by others. People can fixate on, you can fixate. It can happen. It's not bad. It's not wrong. It's just insecurity. People can fixate. Men can fixate on money. Men can even fixate on women. Women can fixate on men. Women can also fixate on money these days. Things have shifted, right? And they might not realize. Sometimes they might know. They won't tell anybody because they know secretly within themselves that this is nonsense. It's unrealistic. But sometimes it might be somebody they know, that knows them. And sometimes it might be somebody that showed them some interest or flirted with them in some way. They can attach to these people. And sometimes it can be with somebody who's your friend, who you know more than just, you can develop a fixation, an obsession, fantasizing in some way. Sometimes it's with somebody you've been with in a relationship and the relationship is over. Somebody might have promised you they'll marry you or something like that, or led you on, and you might be fantasizing and obsessing. And who can blame a person like that, right? Somebody might say, look, I'm not crazy, Ashraf. I'm not focusing on people I don't know exist. There's a man that I knew, he was interested in me. He led me on. So, I'm not crazy. Yeah, you're not crazy. But it's still fixation and obsession when there is a looking from the outside. That I will love me through somebody else's love. I will give me attention through somebody else's attention. Somebody else must give me attention. I don't want to give myself that attention. Somebody else must respect me. Somebody else must tell me they like me. Somebody else must tell me I'm good enough. Men will do the same thing. If I have money, then I'm good enough. If I'm strong, if I have a business, I'm good enough. Until then, I'm nothing. People don't know that God is caring for all of us unconditionally. We all have value. People don't know that they can value themselves, their bodies, their lives, that they can live as adults and have respect, healthy respect for themselves and care for them. They don't know that. They haven't developed that. And so what happens is this excitement seeking. And sometimes somebody can rationalize it and say, look, but he told me he was interested in me. Or, but we were together, and we were together for many years. And now the relationship is over for some reason or another. I'm still checking up on her. I'm still checking up on him. I'm hoping that one day we'll get back together. So what's going on in this addiction? It's addiction. You got to understand that it is addiction. This is not healthy. Remember we spoke about when I have something, I'll be okay. So it's addiction. It's love addiction. There's a term called limerence. Love addiction. Limerence. Limerence or A-N-C. Limerence. Love addiction. And you want to recognize if you have that. Why is that a problem? Why is thinking when I get money and I have a business one day a problem, or when I get this man to respect me and take care of me, I'll feel okay? Why is that a problem? It's a problem because you are not feeling secure. It's a problem that you don't have a relationship with you. And it's a problem that you're not focusing on what you want that you can have that is satisfying. Running a business that pleases you, that is who you are and satisfying for you, you might be thinking, I'm just finding ways to make money. And that can take you away from yourself. It can end up being a strain, can be a struggle. You might fail at it. Psychological state of being obsessively in love with others. Now, being in love with others might be you don't know the person, but you're in love with them. Or they know you, but they don't love you, but you're in love with them, obsessively in love with them, or you've been in love with them and they were in love with you and now they're not in love with you anymore, they've moved on and you're still in love with them. This is fantasy, obsession, can move into, like, you think a lot about them and you check up on them. So people can be like that with money too. They can obsess with money. I know people who are like they've rationalized it and made it part of their lives. Cryptocurrency, whole day, whole night, checking, obsessing. Is it gone up? Is it gone down? Stocks is the same. Is it gone up? Is it gone down? Where you're obsessed. You're controlled by. You're not focusing from you. You're focusing, on something else, and you're controlled by it. And so the bottom line is, we're talking about peace, power, prosperity. We're talking about God as absolutely valuable to you, and you have God consciousness, and you're really aware that you're okay, like we've been talking about for the morning. And we're talking about you being there for you as an adult, not just being a child or parent or whatever. You being an actual adult and relating to yourself. You're beyond self-abandonment. You're self-attending. And it allows you to move into your life and focus on being, being satisfied. Having a prosperity consciousness where you, for who you are with people, things and experiences, applying yourself in a way that delights you to apply yourself, that you're happy to apply yourself, and you're engaging and you're involved and you're participating. Sometimes, women are in love with somebody that they've met and they don't even know. Let's rush to get it on. Let's rush to get married. That's also limerence. Obsessively in love. You can be in love with somebody. You can love somebody. But obsessively is the key word here. That I need them, I have to have them, I think about them all the time. And, are they thinking about me? Do they want me? This like needy kind of state. That's the issue here. Obsessive love. Right? Love is not a problem. Wanting to be with somebody is not a problem. But love, obsessively wanting to be, compulsively, needing, not choosing, this is the problem. And especially when it comes to the teaching that we've been talking about, Attract Soulful Love, where you can have spousal satisfaction. But by focusing on somebody and obsessing with them, you keep yourself from spousal satisfaction. That's the problem. You keep yourself from energizing your satisfying relationship, and you keep yourself from attracting the man that's right for you. In obsessive love, which is not love, obsessive love is a fantasy, it's a fiction, it's a fixation, it's a addiction. There's no you feeling secure, there's no you feeling joy, there's no you by yourself feeling joy, there's no you by yourself joyfully expressing yourself, joyfully applying yourself, engaging in from you, being you, there's no you enjoying yourself, having enjoyment. There's a promise of, a false promise, a lie of excitement, that one day in the future, with this person, you're going to be happy. If this person just loves you and responds to you and chooses you, you're going to be so happy. But none of that is true, because the only time you're going to really have prosperity, the only time you're going to really have satisfaction is as you create your satisfaction. You know who you are, what pleases you, what your preferences are, and who and what is going to suit you and serve you. So people might say, I need money. When I have money, I'll feel secure. When I have money, I'll respect myself. When I have money, other people respect me. And they might just rush into a business, excited about the idea of a business. They might think, yeah, this is it, I want to do it. But they might not realize that that might not be the right business for them. That might cost them in other ways. It might take away from their joy and enjoyment. If you want to start a business, make sure it adds to your life. If you're going to get into a relationship, make sure it adds to your life. You understand? Yes, there's always a give, but you don't want to give up what's already a benefit to you in your life. Like I said, sometimes you might start a business that's a 7-day-a-week business, and then you realize, what about me? What about my worship? What about my this? What about my that? Unless you can have a manager and all that sort of, and you love doing it and you manage it well and all that sort of thing. So we want to be very clear, about prosperity, that it is something, a reflection of who we are. It's what we enjoy. It's what we're happy to serve others in. We are coming from feeling the pleasure of serving, enjoying, and we're doing something that is beneficial to us, that benefits us. So when it comes to obsessive women in relationships, they are not only feeling secure with God, they're thinking a man is going to make them, take care of them and make them feel okay. They're not feeling okay with themselves. They're trying to love themselves through somebody else. They're trying to get somebody else to love them, to feel respect for themselves. They don't have a relationship with themselves. They're fixating on somebody. They're getting excited but on somebody, in a very unrealistic way. That person cannot be the one who's going to satisfy them because they're not focused on satisfaction. They're not focused on who am I, what am I about, what is it that I want in a relationship, what is spousal preferences, what are my spousal preferences, who's going to serve me in satisfaction. They're not looking at who's going to serve me in satisfaction. They say, that's the guy. But is he the one going to serve you in satisfaction? You don't even know what your satisfaction. People say, this is the job opportunity. I'm going to take it. But does it serve you in satisfaction? I don't know. I'm hoping, I'm wishing other people do it and so on. So if you're moving forward from, I already have security, I already have self-respect. I'm not looking to money or a husband for security. I'm not looking to money or a husband to respect myself anymore. I have value. I value myself. I want to have somebody who is of value to me. The work, the business must be of value to me, really. Not take away from me and what I value. It must be of value. The husband, the spouse, the man must be, valuable to me. He must be valuable. Now, what happens is people look at something and they project. Remember we spoke about projections. We've been speaking about projections. Early on I spoke about projections. That potency is where you are aware. When you are lying to yourself and you are projecting onto people, things and situations, that's not potency, that's impotency. So if a woman wants to attract a man that is going to fulfill her in terms of spousal satisfaction, it requires potency. If a person, a man or a woman, wants to start a business, wants to start a relationship, whatever it is, they've got to come from potency, means no impotency. What does that mean? No lies, no self-deception. People deceive themselves for all kinds of reasons. Mainly, they don't feel secure with God. They don't feel worthy. They don't feel loved by God. They don't feel that they're okay. They don't want to have a relationship with themselves. They want somebody else to love them. They don't want to love themselves, in a sense. They want somebody else to allow, accept, and appreciate. They want somebody else to take care of them. They don't want to know that God is taking care of them. They don't want to be caring to themselves. So they haven't grown up. They haven't become secure believers, and they're not adult people. So they're fixating on stuff. So what happens is they have a fantasy. They look at somebody, they look at something, and they start seeing what's there, and then they start seeing what's not there. There's hallucinations. They start hallucinating. You hear this like when people buy things they can't afford. They start telling them things. People, when they live beyond their means and all that, this is what we're talking about. They start over glorifying things. I got to have the top of the range. I deserve it. I'll work hard for it. The top of the, you don't need the top. You need something functional that you can use. No, I got to have the top of the range. So people start seeing what's there, and they start seeing what's not there, and they lose touch with themselves, what they require, what's going to benefit them, what will suit them, who will suit them. They lose touch with themselves, or they're not in touch with themselves, and they just start looking at this thing and they start thinking, this is good, I must have it. The next thing, they buy something and it's repossessed in time, or whatever it is can happen, because they're projecting, this thing is going to make me happy, I need this thing. They're not looking at themselves and what they require. They're looking at the thing, and they're thinking the thing has value. This is why you hear me saying sometimes, some of you might think it's strange, that when we focus into prosperity consciousness, we recognize the value that something is to us without making it valuable. We recognize the value that something is to us without making it valuable. You might be thinking like, if something has value to you, then obviously it's valuable. No. We start looking at things of this world without projecting that it has any power. But we say it doesn't have any power, but it is supportive. It doesn't cause, but it supports. So when women focus on men, or men focus on money, or sometimes women focus on money and men focus on women, and they become obsessed, they start projecting onto that person. They might see a few things that are there that they like, and sometimes they might not even see anything they like. They might just project everything, and they start thinking, I need that person because that person is like this. I need everything that person is. You don't. In fact, that might not even suit you. You're making them valuable. You're not realizing who you are and what you require. A woman might think this man has got a lot of money, and he's got a lot of businesses, he's got a lot of assets. But she might not realize the man himself is not an asset to her. He's not available, he's not there, he's constantly thinking about his businesses, he's always doesn't talk to her. They're just passengers in the dark, two ships passing in the night. You know what I mean? So this is what happens. Women start looking at what assets does he have. And they don't wonder, is he an asset to me? Okay? So it can happen where women start looking at a man and start glorifying, he's got this, he's got that. So he's the one. But is he the one for you? Are you thinking your way through it? Somebody might say, that business, wow, how much it makes every month, yes. But you're not realizing how many days a week do you work? How much of attention goes into this? Unless it is your real passion, where you're not going to give away your values, and by doing it, it's going to add to your life. This work is my life, right? In my case, somebody might say, you're obsessed with your work, Ashraf. And I'm healthy obsessed with it, because it benefits me, it serves me. Every time I do a presentation, I'm more aware, and I'm more present, I'm more in my joy, I'm more in my joyfulness. I'm seeing things I never saw before. I'm becoming more and more aware. I'm experiencing it. I'm glorifying God. I'm realizing the good in me. I'm realizing that, there's people, things in the world who suit me. Who are they? What can I have? So this work is serving me. It's not work like I lose myself in this. So a lot of people, they want to lose themselves in work. There are people who want to lose themselves in work. They want to cease to be as their own psychological entities. That's workaholism. There's people who want to lose themselves in marriage, or being a mother, or in a partnership. There are people who want to lose themselves, right? For various reasons. They're not secure, they don't know who they are, they don't know how to be in the world, so they want to lose themselves. So on one side you have people who want to be seen by others, or seen by what they can have or feel okay. They want to exist. They want to exist. If he loves me, I exist. If he wants me, I exist. I don't exist for God to love me. God calls me to exist, but I don't exist. You know what I mean? God's love for me doesn't matter. My love for me doesn't matter. There are some people who want money or love to exist. And there are other people who want money and love to not exist. How funny is that, right? But that's what happens. And that's what happens with obsession. People who work all the time, or people who are, who lose themselves in work, or people who lose themselves in a marriage or as a role of a mother or father or whatever it is, or any role for that matter. They don't want to be. This is self-abandonment. Or it is a self-abandonment that through work I am somebody. Through somebody's loving of me, I'm somebody. Through having money, I'm somebody. Through having somebody else's money, I'm somebody. You understand? So it's a complete self-abandonment. So when we have our solution that we present, that this is a mistake you're making, you are self-defeating, you are self-abandoning, you are, premaritally, future self-abandoning, you are not interested in you as a spouse and the satisfaction you want. You're not interested in you and the career you have or the business you have and the satisfaction. You're not interested in you and your satisfaction. You're interested in the work. You're interested in that business opportunity. You're interested in that man. You're interested in that woman. You're more interested in them than you. So this is self-abandonment. This is self-abandonment. And a lot of people are not well, right? Not everybody gets this kind of support. I mean, I started off there. I know some of you have been there as well. Some of you listening to this might be there still. You know what I mean? It's what we've been talking about. People are conditioned by, and they're living their lives from the phantom self, from the false self, living a fake life. And this is why our work together is so important with security, selffulness, and satisfaction. This is why this is a healing. This is why when you address your peace consciousness, power consciousness, prosperity consciousness, it opens you up to paradise consciousness. This is why you can live in this world feeling good with God, the peace consciousness, that no man, no money, no job, no marriage, no business is going to replace God. And that God has given me the ability to be of value to me. No money, no business, no marriage, no job, no husband, no child is going to replace me and the value that I can be to me. You see, there are people who don't want to know the value of God. There are people who don't want to be of value to themselves. And so they can't really know what is going to be enjoyable and satisfying for them and who's going to serve them. For anybody to apply the Attract Soulful Love solution or any prosperity solution, you got to know you, that you exist. Without a man, without a business, without money, without a partner, you exist. You don't need somebody to exist, or you don't need somebody to disappear yourself. People want to abandon themselves. You get what I mean? This is the different phases of abandonment. Sometimes it can be healed very quickly. If somebody listening to this can say, thank you for telling me this. I realize that I have been abandoning myself. I'm going to stop doing it. And sometimes, somebody might want to get some kind of private counseling to address this kind of thing. It's about you speaking the truth to yourself. Those who are extremely gone will never be in a program like this. You are here because you are interested in you to some degree. Those who are in my classes, in my paid classes, those who pay for this kind of support are not far gone. They can address these kind of issues because they are paying for their own education. You get what I mean? That means they know they exist, they're getting support, and they want to be. They don't want to lose themselves in somebody else, or in business or work, or they don't want to disappear, in business, work, lose themselves, or they don't want somebody else or work or money to give them an existence, a false existence. I'm Mrs. So-and-so, Mr. So-and-so's wife, a woman might say. They have an existence, but not as themselves. I am so-and-so's mother, a woman might say. So they don't have an existence of their own self. These are, people who don't pay for this kind of support can end up there because they don't respect themselves enough to get this kind of education and assistance and help and all that sort of thing, right? So if you're paying, if you're in any of my paid classes, congratulations to you. You know you exist. You're paying to get support for you, and it'll be easier for you to recognize the self-deception and this kind of, indirect way of respecting yourself. When somebody respects me, then I'll respect me. When somebody wants me, then I'll be of value. Only when somebody loves me, then I have value. If nobody loves me, I don't have value. You can know that God has given you value, and you can be valuing to yourself. When you're valuing to yourself, you're going to attract people that can value. And that's the whole secret of prosperity consciousness. If you can be of value to you, can you recognize who or what is going to be of value to you? What are they going to serve you in? Money is to serve you in an experience, an enjoyable experience, you see. A man or woman is to serve the partner, us, in satisfaction. You've got to be satisfaction orientated. If you're satisfaction orientated, you're prosperity conscious. You're going to look at the thing that I'm doing, the person I'm going to be with. Can I be myself? Can I enjoy myself with them? Can I express myself? Can I apply myself? Do they serve me in being me? Is being me allowing me to be more of me with them, and I can have more of satisfaction with them? I have a personal satisfaction without them, but with them there'll be a greater satisfaction, spousal satisfaction. So the mistake that a lot of smart women make is that they are spousally self-defeating. They are actually not really focused on themselves. They focus more on the man. Where's he? Who's the one? I think it's him. They start outlining the process. This one I saw once, he's the one. I like him. He said he liked me. So I just want to maybe give some remedial support here. But in these situations where you project onto somebody, you want to recognize you're projecting onto them. You want to recognize that you are imagining a fulfilling, exciting, let me say it this way. You're not imagining a fulfilling experience. You're imagining an exciting experience. You're thinking that when he likes you, you're going to feel good. You think that when he gives you what he has, you're going to feel good. Nobody's going to, until you feel good with God and yourself, and until you look at who's going to support you in feeling good, nobody's going to cause you to feel good. Nobody's going to cause you to feel good. You get what I mean? Nobody can cause you to feel good. But now you know a few things about him, and you might think he's the one, and you're filling in the rest in projection. It's all happening in your own mind. You are deluded. It's a hallucination. You know 5% of the guy. The 5% might even just be a front, a face he's showing you. And now you filled in the 95% of how wonderful he is. You have a halo effect. It's a halo effect. You see a few things good, and I was thinking he's all good. He's going to be right for you. And whether you're obsessed and fixated, fantasizing, or whether you just go forward as a so-called normal woman in a relationship, but you project like this, it's a recipe for disappointment because you failed yourself. You didn't focus on you. You didn't focus on your spousal preferences. You didn't realize what kind of man I require, and why do I require that kind of man? What are the features of that man? You can't say who the man is. But one thing you can know is the man that will be brought to you, will be given to you, will be, surpassing your fantasy. And that oftentimes when you end up being with the man or woman that we may fantasize about, there's a lot of disappointment. There's a disappointment there because it was projection. It was a projection of so good he is. You understand? And that is a failure to say, who am I? What do I want? What do I require? Let me be inspired by my experience of satisfaction, and let me focus on those who are going to satisfy me. And that's when you start attracting to you people, like our sister was saying at the first sharing this morning, how before she attracted con artists, this, that, and the other, and now she's attracting people that are of value to her, who value her. It's a different reality. So you can begin to recognize, I'm in a fantasy. What are the 5% I think is good? What is the 95% I'm fantasizing here that I don't know? You can at least be realistic and say, This is fantasy. This is me like a little girl getting excited. Nobody taught her. Like we heard early on from our sister saying, somebody told her, don't focus on dark things, you'll attract it. It's not true. If you are secure and you are into the light, you can talk all you want about dark things. You won't attract it. So when you were young and nobody taught you about how to get yourself soulfully married, and you had all these, childlike, I never had a father. Imagine what it'll be like to have a father. I never had a father's love. Maybe this man will love me like my father loved me. It's all infantile. A recipe for disaster. Only somebody who realizes, let me get over, I never had my father's love, it's okay, but I got my own. I've God's love, firstly. That's the only real love we require. And I'm caring for me. I might have not been cared for by my father, whatever, but I'm caring for me. Instead of thinking, somebody's going to love me, and then you realize nobody can love you. Not that there's something wrong with you, but only God can love you. You can be of value to you, and people can be of value to you. You can love yourself enough to attract a man who will value you. So a lot of women, nobody told them, they're all excited, they're living in fantasy, they're still in a child thinking, maybe one day this man will see me, maybe one day he'll like me, all obsessed about it, getting excited. But that's naive girls, you know what I mean? It's okay if you're a naive girl, you can become aware of the naive girl in you and say to her, you know what? Nobody taught you this, but you're a woman and you can be spousally satisfied and you don't have to get all excited and all that sort of thing and project onto men that they're going to be what your father never was and, they're going to make you so happy. And you can go beyond that excitement. Like people are excited. One day when we get money, how life is going to be different. We'll be able to buy this and buy that and get excited about this and get excited about... It's all fantasy. It's an underdeveloped part of you. You understand? When you learn, grow, and develop like this, and you develop yourself, you realize my spousal satisfaction is a function of my creating my spousal satisfaction. Not a man is going to like me and I'm going to get so happy and all that. He's going to take care of me. There's no such thing. You're going to be disappointed if you have that. When you're a grown-up woman, you realize I can, with and through God, support my satisfaction and attract a man that supports my satisfaction. I can create with and through God my satisfaction, and I can have a job, a business, work, opportunities to earn an income, opportunities to enjoy spousal satisfaction. The people will be provided by God. You know what I mean? So, how important it is to grow yourself up, even whatever your age. The sooner you grow yourself up, the better. This is why you hear me speaking sometimes about attend to your inner child, attend to the child in you, attend to the wounded, attend to the little girl in you that wasn't loved by your father or not loved the way you, attend to the little girl in you that's thinking somebody else is going to love you. Attend to will make you all special and all that. Right? Attend to the little girl in you that's getting all excited, who doesn't know about love and relationships and all that. And it's about spousal satisfaction, and it's you to take responsibility and own your spousal preferences and support them getting fulfilled. Girls might think, but it's not exciting. This is more exciting. I'm going to meet the guy. He's going to sweep me off my feet. You know what I mean? Yeah, it might not be like the fantasies, exciting stories, but it's real. Everything in life is real. People might want to think, I'm going to make all the money, it's going to change my life. It's fantasy. You're going to apply yourself. You go onto YouTube and something, you attract your money and become a millionaire overnight and all that. Who's watching those things? Children who are like buying into naivety, they're buying into like fantasy. In anything in your life, you can create and you can manifest what you want, but it does require you to be an adult. And it does require you to apply yourself, even in a relationship where you have a man of your dreams that you can attract by applying yourself as a grown-up woman and focusing on your spousal satisfaction. There's you focusing on your spousal satisfaction. Not going to just happen. And even in that relationship, yes, you will be receiving the care that you want. Yes, you'll be having the value. But even in that relationship, you're going to have to be caring to that man. Otherwise, you'll have a win-lose relationship. After a while, the men start just withdrawing support, or they give support resentfully, or they start looking for their needs to be met elsewhere. And you're thinking it's all so good and all so good and all I attracted what I want, but then you didn't give. You just want, but you don't want to give. So that's why, anything in life is about responsibility. You've got to know there's a responsibility in a relationship to attract the right partner. You've got to be responsible in terms of your spousal satisfaction. To keep your right partner, you've got to be responsible in support of your spouse's satisfaction as well. So this is all for grown-ups. You want to have love, money, you want to have your life work for you, you want to be prosperous. It's only for grown-ups, not for little boys and girls. Little boys and girls can play house, and see how far that goes. School, work. You can play all that. Business. But you're still a little boy, a little girl. I mean, I was there for most of my life. But look, I've grown myself up. And look, some of you have grown yourselves up too. And look, other people have done it. Look, you can do it too if you haven't done it. Nobody's telling you, but nobody speaks about this. The world is just, people are just moving into a crystallized identity. They're not supporting the emergence of their authority and their authenticity. This is why I just look at people and shake their heads. I watch people thinking that they're so smart and they're so progressive, and I look at them, they're little boys and girls. Little boys and girls. I'm not looking down upon them. I'm just telling you, I read books and I do this and look at me, but they disappeared themselves in a marriage. They disappeared themselves in the family. They are self-abandoning. Or they trying to give themselves an existence in a family, in a marriage that I have worth because I am somebody's wife and somebody's children. They're not there. They might like to think of themselves as adults and very progressive because of certain reasons and all that. But they're just fooling themselves. I think if anybody joins my classes, if you don't get a shock that you're not really a believer, as much as you're thinking you're such a great believer, and if you don't get a shock that you're not as much as an adult that you're thinking I worked all along my whole life, if you don't get that freaking shock, you haven't understood my work. You know what I mean? A lot of people come in here, let's identify, associate with these people, they're progressive, smart, let's read the posts and all that. And they don't realize they're living fake lives. They're fake. And then once they realize, oh my God, what is this man saying? Let's make a slow exit. Go and stick around with people in the game, self-help and talk the talk, but remaining not there, not present. You're not there. You're not there as an adult in your life. You're not living your life as an adult. You're not there. I'm giving you the opportunity, those of you who are courageous enough to get the support you require to actually wake up and live as adults. A lot of people can't take it. They run back into the illusion. But very few people can take it, and they realize, okay, you've done it, Ashraf, you're being honest about it, you've assisted other people doing it, you see other people doing it. No, I will undertake it. But very few and far between are real people that are really going to have peace, power, prosperity in this world and paradise in the next. You can believe what you want to believe. I'm religious, I believe in God, I believe this, I believe all your perceptions. Wait and see what happens in this world through your death and beyond. It's only if you really grow yourself up and really be an adult who's receiving God's caring, your own caring, giving caring, receiving caring from others. That's the only time you really have gone beyond your conditioned self. All the decisions you're making is coming from your conditioned self. It's not you. Until you wake up and make decisions that really come from the adult self, that's you. See, so that's what we've been talking about. I thought I'll just go deeper into this for those who are here, and also especially those on the Attract Soulful Love program, where the solution is to be self-attending, but they might have a difficulty being self-attending. They might be continuing to make the mistake of focusing on a man, obsessed, fixated, fantasy, trying to outline it's him. In the meantime, all they are is just not relating to God and themselves and not choosing God's good for them in this world and the world beyond. They're still underdeveloped children, they can become aware of it and address it if they want to, or live in that fantasy forever. But we can grow ourselves up. We can stop worshipping Satan. We can stop being fooled and live as children. We can be adults and live powerfully. Potency, this is our theme from December last year into this year, potency. Potency is where you can see what you want for you in the world. That involves people, things, and experiences. And you know what experience you want to have. You call the shots. When you have your prosperity, it adds to your life. You don't end up doing something that stresses you, strains you, and takes away from your other joy in your life. You get what I mean? All right, so thank you so much for bringing that up. I got to address that. I will put this recording up for everybody's benefit.